Hello everybody. We will move on to the third scene of the drama, Watchman of the Lake. In the previous scene, what did we see? Mara, who is being considered as a lunatic, had a dream where the goddess appeared. He so badly wanted to convey this to the king, who would be passing by the village. But the village headman is not interested. He did not want Mara to appear at any cost because it will be an insult and the whole village considered him to be an abnormal person. But Mara succeeds in encountering the king, seeing him, pleading him, and narrating his dream to him. But to his surprise, the king considers the words of Mara and gives him an appointment for further discussion. He orders him and commands him to come and see him in his palace. That is what we saw in the previous scene. What is the next scene all about? Let us see. Many years later, Mara standing before his hut on the bank of a vast lake. There is a mingled noise of wavelets breaking upon the shore, cries of gulls, and the rustling of tree leaves. The very introduction of the scene can very vividly picturize a beautiful, pristine, clear lake which is rich in its fauna, flora, the vegetation around it because it is a fertile everywhere now, and the lake which he had proposed before the king has already been made now. It's not a small lake, it's a very vast lake. And see the wavelet, the waves which are hitting to the shore. It is mingled, a mixture of all this noise, a natural noise, as if it is a music symphony of the birds, of the ripples, of the wavelets, and the very well rustling of the leaves of the trees around on the banks of this lake. Mara is grown old now because it's past several years now. He has begotten a son by name Ganga, and he is calling him. Helloing is to say, call, address. Boy, little man, Ganga. Oh, Ganga. He's been calling his son who is a little far away. A distant voice. He is not visible on this stage here. He is away. But he immediately responds to the call of his father. Father, I am coming. Where are you gone, little man? See the love, affection, and a little kind of a criticizing, where are you with you? That kind of words put together. A little objection of not being available. Sound of running feet. He comes running to his father. Here I am, father. You are shouting as if something or the other had happened. I was only behind that tree watching. That means that little boy has come running to his father, and he says that he was very busy doing something. What was that? What were you watching? There is a man fishing in the lake. The boy clearly knew that his father had prohibited fishing in the lake. That's the reason he had watched the man who was fishing there and wanted to immediately come and complain to his father. Fishing? Fishing? Where? Come on, show me where is the place, because this was illegal, particularly in that lake. Fishing was not permitted. Hey man, get up! What are you doing here? A complete objection of Mara. Nothing. Nothing. Then why that rod and hook in your hand? And how did all this fish come into your basket? Did they walk in while you were watching the sky? Hey, go man, go, before you are pushed into the lake. This is the paragraph which I like the most because it reflects the typical style of objecting anybody, which is very familiar to us. ಓಹೋ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮೀನ್ ತಾನಾಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ನಿನ್ ಬುಟ್ಟಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ, ಮೀನ್ ಹಿಡಿದಿಲ್ವಾ ಅದನ್ನ? This is how usually we speak. That is exactly how R.K. also has depicted this particular scene. No, I was not catching fish. I speak the truth. What a falsehood it is. If there are fish with the basket and on top of it, he is making a false argument saying that he has done nothing. This annoys Mara further. He is unable to tolerate him anymore now. So now he gives a very befitting voice in a fuming tone or in an angry tone. I have been a watchman of this lake for years and I have come across hundreds of storytellers like you. Who are storytellers? Ninha kate kattavana nooraru jana nodidini ishtu varshagalli. This is my last warning to you. If I see you again with that rod and hook, I will push you into the water. I will not think twice to dump you into that lake. Knowingly you are doing this mistake, this blunder, and that's the reason. And the fish will feed on you. You have come here to catch the fish, no? I will make the situation reverse where the fish will feed on you because I'm going to throw you into the water. If any more I see you in and around this lake, that was a strict warning from Mara. And then, now suddenly, his attention shifts over from that victim to his son. He has to teach him because he's growing up and Mara is growing old. So now he goes on telling what should be the list of the responsibility, how responsible his son has to be henceforth, and what the lake actually means to Mara, how important it is for him, and the same thing should continue to his son also. Even he should consider it very important. They are not just an appointed watchman of it. For them, it is their life. The lake is their life. Not only their life, the life of the whole kingdom, of the village and the villages surrounding them. And that's the reason it was an honor for them. Rather, they considered it as a privilege of tending that lake, of taking care of that lake. So now he begins with his the set of advice to his son. Do you see, my son? When I'm gone, you will be the guard here. Gone means gone forever and dead. When I'm dead, I'm no longer. You have to take up the responsibility. So he says that this is what you must do with killers. Just now you heard me know. What did I say? I'm going to throw him into the water. The same thing should hold even when you find somebody coming to the lake to hunt or to kill or to fish anything, any living stock in and around. So this, you should be harsh. You should not be considerate at all. That is what he's trying to say here. And then whether they come with arrows for the gulls, seagulls, the beautiful birds, usually wherever there are water bodies, you can find the set of these seagulls hovering on the lake. Usually with every now and then they did have a dip and pick up the small fish, and that's how. And then whether they come with the arrows for the gulls, which skim over to and from movement on the ripples of the lake. They skim over the birds. They come, take a deep dive, skim over, and again they fly up. You can visualize all these things on the screen of your mind, children. So beautiful, so pleasant. The cool breeze from the pristine lake, crystal clear. You can see your face as if you would see it in a mirror. That clean the water is. How and why? It is all because of Mara's dedication. Mara has been maintaining it so well. And then whether they come with the arrows for the gulls which skim over the water, or with the rod for the fish, this place is sacred and belongs to the goddess. This is not just a stock of water here. This has been the order of the goddess. This is a heavenly abode here, because the orders are from the command and the desire of a goddess. So that's the reason it is so pious and holy to Mara. And not only to Mara, to the people of that particular region. And her command is that nothing that flies or swims or walks in these parts should ever be killed. She has already ordered that whether they are aquatic animals or they are, because there's a thick forest on the banks of this lake. There's so many animals there. So nobody is supposed to hunt them. Nobody is supposed to hunt the birds or the aquatic animals. That has been the order. And he has to obey the goddess order. And that's the reason. Should ever be killed. That means it should never be killed. From my hut, I have often seen at the dead of night a tiger come down from the mountain, slaking its thirst at the distant corner. Because of the woods on the banks, there are all kinds of ferocious animals also. Yes, himself witnessed several times the tiger climbing down the hill and the woods and drinking the water at the edge of it, bank of it, and then silently walking away, going back to its abode, that is the forest. They have been so harmless, though they are ferocious. When that is the case, it is our duty also to keep up and maintain them. That is what is the desire of the Father. And he is telling his son, Ganga also, to do the same. And then the preservation of the wild animals, the preservation of the aquatic animal, the fauna, flora, everything. It's so lustrous. So it is the responsibility of Ganga henceforth, because he is growing up, he has to take up the responsibility. It's lacking its rest, quenching your word. Fire, that is so true. So that is what they come there. But even that has to go untouched. None of them should be harmed. Such is the command of the goddess and the king. Now, because you fish, now he becomes angry, turns back to that man. You better leave this place before I punish you severely or I push you into the water. You leave this place. That was harsh words of Mara to the man who had come there for his greediness of catching the fish. You are after all only a watchman. You are not the master of this place. Are you not taking upon yourself more than your duty? See here, he feels probably insulted. He feels ashamed. So now how he cannot just walk away. No, they are rustic people. He stoops down for an argument saying, oh, neene doddu maharaja idashtu neene malika na matadbeda ninige maha hakkide anta matadtini bare oba watchman idu idi ninige sambandhisiddu anta ankolak hogbeda idi uri sambandhapattidu ee lake ee tarad this kind of an argument is going on there. And then you are not the master of this place. Are you not taking upon yourself? Take upon oneself is a phrase there. What is the meaning of take upon oneself means? To take up too much of a responsibility. That is the meaning of it, isn't it? Take upon himself, take upon herself, take upon themselves. The original word is take upon oneself. So isn't it that you are taking upon too much means as if you are the whole and soul responsible person for this? Are you not taking? Here I want to stop for a while and tell you. See the imagination of E-JNANA here. He wants to describe the beauty of the lake. It is an unusual lake. It's too vast. It is very pristine. And it is to be described. And how to describe it? Herein he gives a chance to Mara, who brings about the detailed description of how it looks like in this particular situation. Herein Mara grabs this opportunity. So this is how we come to know how big, not only we come to know, we can also visualize how big the lake is, what is the width of it, what is the breadth of it, and all these details are made familiar to us through this dialogue which Mara is going to speak now. I am the master of this place. Yes, you are asking me, no, who are you? Yes, I am the master. I am the king of this lake. Only what will you do? ನೀನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ಹೌದು, ನಾನೇ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾಲೀಕ. ನೀ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? because he was nevertheless truly the master of that lake. He had taken so much care of it. He would deserve all the honors and the title of being the master of that lake. The king made me so. It is nobody. It's the king himself who has given me that right. He has given me the power. That is the reason. Yes, I am the master. But for me, Veda would have run away and disappeared. Dissipate, the word dissipate you had come across. Disappear as she was doing before. It is I who gave her a home where she stays and nourishes the cornfields of thousands of the king's subject. Why is he so much boastful? Because surely he's done so much, not only for himself, for the people, and for the land, that particular place. Had it not been for Mara, definitely we have seen that how every year during rainy season the water would run, would gush into the land, and after some time during summer it was not even visible. People would suffer due to drought, famine, and so that's the reason. It was because of me. I instructed the king to build a tank or build a reservoir for it, and that's the reason why today you can come to this lake. Had it not been for my sake, you would never have seen a lake here, or for the well-being of these people. And then, so he undoubtedly he takes all the credit for himself. He doesn't feel belittled. He says, "Haudu, nane ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ನನ್ನ ಕನಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದು, ನಾನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಾನೇ ಕಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ದು." So he takes, it is not a kind of boasting. It is like a pride of Mara. It is not his ego. It is a pride that he is taking and he is speaking. So that pride and then his privilege of taking care of that lake and on the command of the king, that is what makes Mara feel so authoritative about that particular lake where she stays and nourishes her. Now look along the bank. You know what is the length and breadth of this bank? Do you know its length? ನೋಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ ಅಂತ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಇಂಥ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕೆರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೆರೆ ಇದೆ. So and that flying from the strongest sling will not take stone to the other end of the bag. A rustic way of measurement. Oh, ಇದು 100 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಲೆಂತ್ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಚಾಟಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಲ್ಲು ಹಾಕಿ ಒಂದು ಸರಿ ತೂರಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಆ ಕಲ್ಲು ನೀರು ಒಳಗೆ ಬೀಳಲ್ಲ, ನೀರಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬೀಳಲ್ಲ, ನೀರು ಒಳಗೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನೀರು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಸೆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ the stone would not fall on the land but will fall in the water. That means that is the width of this lake. It's too huge, it's too big. That is what he wants to say. A fling, not a fling, flang, that's a past example. Fling flang, from the strongest sling will not take stone to the other end of the bag, but on the other hand it will fall into the water. And I, by the king's order, watched every stone with which this bank was built. That's the reason why he is being so commanding. ಅದನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟೋ ಹೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಇಟ್ಟಂಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕಲ್ಲನ್ನ ಜೋಡಿಸಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನೇ ಸ್ವತಃ ನಿಂತು I have managed, I have been standing there, I have been watching every bit of the construction while it was going on. So I know every nook and corner of this lake as I took the responsibility. That's the reason he is saying here. And not only that, and I opened the gates that let the water into the fields. I know how much to give and when to stop. Each and every responsibility concerned to the lake. Who is in charge of it? Mara is in charge. He knows how much of water and how, at what time it has to be let flow. So that's the reason. And I know how much to give and when to stop, and I tend the lake. What is the meaning of tend? Care, to take care, and he is in charge. He is taking care of the lake. I've been tending my grandparents since long. I've been taking care of my grandparents since long. And that's the meaning of it. That I tend the lake and see that it is not polluted by man or waste. I keep it very clean because for me this is a very holy place. Even the headman of the village, who once bet and bullied me, will have to beg my permission if he wants to touch the water. See the reversal of the role here. We know that in the beginning scene, how badly he was treated by the headman. He was insulted. He was even asked to be beaten if he doesn't obey. But the same headman today has very high respect for Mara. Even if he wants anything from the lake, whether it's a water for his field or any other aspects, he seeks the permission of Mara. And that is how. Begs Mara. Here I am the king, no one can question me. Now go away. I have spoken to you more than you deserve. Do you understand why I have been so strict about it? That is the importance of this lake. And when that is so, how could you dare to step into the lake to fish? This is just a pretext in order to bring to the readers the detail of the lake. They may ask you a question in the exam. Write the detailing of the lake as per Mara's description. There may be a question in the exam. So you need to write all these details then. And then now little fellow, after having spoken to him, he once again turns to his son. Now little fellow, my son, you see the man there taking his cow to the water's edge. Run on. I tell him not to take it there. It is very deep at that point, at that spot. If his cow slips, warn him to move off a little. Go on. See, multitasking of Mara, how observant he is about everything that is happening there. While he is so seriously discussing about these details with that man, along with his son, at the same time he could watch the man who has come with his cattle. The cows drink water, and unfortunately that man doesn't know that the spot is very slippery. He feels scared that the cow may be drowned. So immediately he sends his son to warn the cowherd to take it away to a different place. That shows very clearly that Mara was acquainted and very familiar with every part and the surrounding of the lake. This is really very appreciable on his part. And the boy runs away. The visitor, now they move away. Now a new entry is there. That is, a man comes over there. Mara, oh brother, when did you come? He's a visitor. He's come there to see him. And see the hospitality of Mara with a great welcoming note and a smile on his face. He calls him. Just this moment, I left my village at sundown yesterday, and I have walked without a pause. With the purpose, this visitor has come all the way to him in order to seek some help from Mara. Oh, coming to my hut and have some food. Here we have come across the word sundown. That is evening. The previous evening he has already started because there was no communication. There was no transportation facilities earlier. So he had to walk down all the way from his neighboring village, which was a little far away from there to here. So he's come here. Coming to my hut and have some food. First and foremost, instead of asking what for he is come, he could realize that he's tired. He is weighed off, so he invites him to his hut. There is bound to be something you can munch through, nothing very good. ಏನಾದರೂ ತಿನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಭಾಳ ರುಚಿ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಊರಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೈ ವೈಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವೇ, ಐ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೈ ಸನ್ ಆರ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವೇ ಏನೋ ತಯಾರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ. ಏನೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಊಟ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಖಂಡಿತ, ಮಂಚ ತಿನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಯಾಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮಂಚೀಸ್ ಬಾಯಾಡ್ಸೋದು, ಮಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು. ಬಾ ಇದು ಅವನ ಔದಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಏನಪ್ಪ ನಿನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ದಣದು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಅವನು ಆಯಾಸ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ದ ಹ್ಯೂಮೇನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾರ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. So the visitor says, now I have come all the way to ask a favor of you. ನಿನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಉಪಕಾರ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಉಪಕಾರ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. You know our village is the farthest in our king's domain. ನನ್ನ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಳೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ. There is drought, ಬರಗಾಲ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ, ನೀರಿನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. And crops parch up and cattle are dying of drought. ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಣಗೋಗಿದ್ದೇನೆಲ್ಲ, ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ನೀರಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಸು ಕರುಗಳು ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. So and that drought, will you give us some water? This was a very intelligent. See, hospitality from the side of man is on one side, but that man is come here with a very important mission here. So he wants his work to be done or the approval to be done. That's the reason he immediately tells Mara what for has he come, what was the problem in his village. What was the reply? We have seen one harsh side of Mara just now, how he tackled the illegal fishing man who had come there. But at the same time, the other side of the coin, children, you can see here very well. Certainly, brother, it is here for all the king's subjects to take. ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿಯೂ ನಿನಗೆ ನಾನು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ಕೆರೆ ಇರೋದೇ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜನ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಇರೋದಿದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನಿನಗೂ ಸಹ ಇದು ಸೇರುತ್ತೆ. I will definitely help you. Tomorrow I will come with you and see where you can lay the channels, and as soon as canals, and then as soon as you have done it, the water is yours. ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾಳೆ ಇದು ನೀರನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಊರಿನ ತನಕ ಹರಿಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು, how it can be channelized, we will plan it out and we will start working on it. That means he was so broad-minded. He was not possessive about lake. He was possessive in a different way. But he did not feel that that lake belongs to only his village. No. The very purpose of building the lake was to facilitate and for the well-being of everyone. So he plans it out very well. As soon as you have done it, the water is yours. It will be led to you according to the law laid down by the king. There are certain rules and regulations, certain paperwork to be done, and that will be got done, don't worry. And then, do you notice the heart of the lake mudding? Suddenly, see, though he is speaking to this visitor, all the time his eyes and his mind is set on every little changes that is happening in the lake. Suddenly he feels there is a gush of some additional water and it is mudding. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬೇರೆ ಹೊರಗಿಂದ ನೀರು ಸೇರಿ ಆ ಕೆರೆಯ ನೀರು ತಿಳಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದಂಥ ನೀರು ಮಣ್ಣಮಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. that oh, it was a fire like only a moment ago. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿ ನೀಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ನೀಲಿ ಬಣ್ಣದಂತಹ ಲೇಕು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬಣ್ಣವನ್ನೇ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಆ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ರಾಡಿಯಿಂದಾಗಿ, ರಾಡಿ ಬಣ್ಣದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಆ ತಿಳಿ ನೀಲಿ ಬಣ್ಣದಂತಹ ಈ ಕೆರೆ ತನ್ನ ಬಣ್ಣವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. It was a fire like only your fire is that gem, ನೀಲಿ ಕಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. See those clouds at the mountain top. Oh my God, he raises his head and see. It is so thickly clouded. What is its sign of? The forthcoming heavy downpour. It is predicting a heavy downpour. ಧಾರಾಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿಯೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದಟ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಮೋಡ ಕವಿದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ. And then at the mountain top there is heavy rain here. Veda is swelling and carrying mud and flood into the lake. A classic example of personification. The Veda, ಅವಳನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮೋಶಲ್ ಮಳೆ ಶುರು ಆಗೋದು, ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮೇಲೆ ಗುಡ್ಡದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮಳೆ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವಳು ತನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲು ಇರೋ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. So in no time she will join this lake. Definitely, it will flow down and join the lake. And that's the reason there's heavy rain there. Already ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರ ನಂತರ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ಮಳೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. She's swelling. You see the beauty of the language. Carrying mud and flood into the lake. I must keep an eye on her tonight. ನಾನು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು. It should not overflow. I should keep open the gates of this lake, otherwise it will overflow. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಬಹಳ ಮೈಯೆಲ್ಲ ಕಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಇದು ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So he feels very anxious at this moment, very responsible. And then, boy, who is that boy? Ganga, his son. Come here. Let us go in. I fear there will be heavy rain on us soon. Some premonition. Oh, ಬಹಳ ಧಾರಾಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಮಳೆ ಬರುವ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ ತಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ತಯಾರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಗೇಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಇಡೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗವನ್ನು ಹರಿಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಥಿಕ್ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್.